everyone, welcome to the channel. Thanks to my new subscribers. Today we're going to talk about the car and get my new subscribers updated on what's on the car, what it is, what we're doing next, why we're doing it. 2012 Boss Mustang, competition orange, production number 2057. I purchased this car with 9,000 miles on it. This is my third year of ownership. And we're going to talk about what's on the car and the engine, and some of the things that I've done that I haven't talked about, which are a couple. Full suspension, mods, and exhaust. We have 20-inch Ford Star F14 piano block, semi-concave, 20 by 9 in the front and 20 by 11 in the rear. I don't know the back spacing. They are wrapped in Nitto. Front is a 255 3520. The back is 295 3520. As for the exhaust, they're a Dynatec 1 7/8 inch header, flowing into a Dynatec X pipe with the side exhaust for the Boss, flowing into a Borla over the axle 2 3/4 inch pipe into the early GT500 mufflers. What we have for suspension mods are the Steeda Stage 1, the billet aluminum lower control arms, the upper control spherical link, and those are solid mounts up and bottom. The shocks in the rear are a Lakewood 50/50 drag shock. I went with that because it's just economical. We have the BMR lower control arm brackets, BMR drag springs for the rear, and the front it's still the Eibach Pro S coilovers. They are adjustable from 0.8 inches to 3 inches. So as you can see, it's slammed down pretty low, but we can adjust those up. For drag racing, I did talk to Eibach about that, and they said we can raise the height of that for weight transfer. It'll help with the launch. So the goal here is to work with what we have, try and have best of the both worlds, a road course, drag racing. And I'm just making changes little by little for what works. So recently we just went back to a 373 gear from 410, which I totally could not hook up. We're working out the problems with the car. We are gauging it against a draggy. So I do have some data from before. Didn't hook up, so hopefully we'll get some better times. So what we're going to do before we make any changes with this 373 gear, we are going to go back to my Mickey Thompson ETRs. They're 17-inch. They're the 28 by 11.5. We're going to put them on, see how the car launches. Now before we do that, we are working on line lock. I don't have that on yet, but we'll have a video of that. So again, we're going to do little by little. If I feel we need to go to a 15-inch tire, which was kind of the goal, then we'll add the relocation bracket to get the 15-inch tire on. If you want to go with a 15 by 10 or wider, which we may, because I want to get a good tire under there, then we'll go down that road. But again, we'll do this step by step. I don't want to add any extra costs if we don't have to. I already have wheels and tires for the rear and actually the front. I don't have them on, just the wheels. But you don't have to stand that extra expense for the 15-inch. We won't, but if we don't hook up, then we'll move towards that. Now, I can tell you, with this new Calimer transmission, I have hit it a few times, not really hard. I am quite surprised how we are still able to light up these tires with the 373. I did a roll at 20 mile an hour, 25 in second, and it just woke them right up. It spun them. So, we may still have the same issues this car is making on the motor based on the dyno jet data. And we also ran a Mustang dynamometer. Did them both, and with E85 tune, they came in within 1 horsepower of each other, so that's phenomenal. So the DynoJet was running on a WinPep 8 software, which is the latest and greatest. It's standard to the industry. Now it aligns also to your Mustang dynamometers, and there's no longer that 12% increase, if you will. We'll be able to go back to that DynoJet on 93 tune and see what difference this transmission made, if any, from a horsepower standpoint. So our baseline there is 437 in 4th gear. We're also going to do a 5th gear because that's my 1-to-1, but the shop ran me in 4th gear. The drivetrain of the car, we have a billet aluminum flywheel, cloud dual disc clutch, Ford Racing 1-piece drive shaft, and by the way, that's a RST clutch, good for 800 horsepower. Blowfish Racing shifter bracket, and of course it's backed by the stock 373 gears now. Let's take a quick look at the car. I think you guys seen it enough, but we'll show it again. So for aesthetics, what's on the car, we have a Roush side splitter. It's this puppy right here. It gives us a nice appearance. It also goes on the rear fascia. We have the GT500 wing. These were all on the car when I purchased the car. This car has a nice stance, and it still seems to sit pretty well with the BMR springs. Before the rear fender, it wasn't gapped at all. It was level with the tire. It looked really good. Up front, we have Ford Racing grill. I really like that. It pulls in more air, and I do believe it helps on the top end. When we made that change, we had to buy a new emblem because the old one did not want to come off. The rest of the car, pretty much bone stock. Let's take a look at the engine. So here's a nameplate, 2057. Ported Boss Jlt2 Intake. This gave me 20 more horsepower, and it also bumped up my torque numbers quite a bit. BBK 85 millimeter throttle body. We do have a 90. These both were tested on the dyno, and the 90 gave me 1 more horsepower more. However, this gave me a higher average horsepower than the 90. But I can tell you, airflow, your airflow gains when you're on the drag strip are at the top end. So if we're picking up airflow, which I do believe we are, through the front grille, we're going to see those gains in mile per hour at the end of the track. Jlt2 intake, very nice intake. I did it in the carbon fiber appearance. Now guys, too, I don't know if this helped with horsepower or not, but all of you that are watching, disassemble your cold air intake, reach on the inside, and you're gonna feel it's rough as hell. What I did, and this is what I didn't share, people don't know. I don't know if it made it increase or not, but I do know, old school hot rod, okay? You increase airflow, you're gonna increase your mile per hour in the end of the drag strip. So this was smoothed out by my hand. So I took sandpaper and I worked it until it's as smooth as what's on top. Do that with a couple of different grits of sandpaper, you know, start with rough and then keep working to finer and finer until it gets super smooth. Make sure you wash it thoroughly, get all the debris out. I can tell you with my 90 millimeter throttle body on, I can hear air sucking through there like a frickin' wind tunnel. I'm not kidding you. So that's why I think on the road and driving, it may not show much difference on the dyno, but as you're pushing air through this thing, I do think that 90 will definitely increase mile per hour. Now we can do that, from my understanding, as long as we're tuned on the 85. We can make a jump up 5 more millimeters and still run it where it is. So we're gonna try that at the drag strip. We got a lot of goals and things going on that we want to do, so we just have to take it piece by piece. First is traction. The other thing we got going on in the engine, 170 degree thermostat. Now that has not changed my temperature at all, so it may be a computer setting. I'm still running 180 degrees no matter what the temperature is outside. It just runs 180. Other than that, everything is stock. The Bosses have the same intake cam as the GT Mustang 2011. However, the exhaust cam is the same as the Gen 2. So it's 13 millimeter lift, 263 duration. Now we do have Ford racing cams for the car. They're gonna go in. We have an extra set of bare heads. Bare heads. We're gonna have massage set up to increase flow. Those heads will go on when the cams go on, along with oil pump gears, the crankshaft gear, lighten hardware for the phasers, and a lighten water pump pulley. All that should, again, free up some rotating mass, give us some horsepower back. MMR said we should see gains of 5 to 10 horsepower. With the bolt-on of the head, cams, lighten hardware, we should see about 65 to 70, maybe more horsepower, and that's according to Livernotes Motorsports. Weight-wise, weighed in at 3560. Now, we haven't weighed it again with all the lighten assemblies. I do have a video early on weighing all these pieces and parts. And there is some decent amount of weight we've shaved off already. I don't remember exactly, I'll be honest with you. I want to say it's probably in the area of 70, 75 pounds. The side pipes are off, but we're going to put them back on. Those weigh 5 pounds each. We're going to put them back on and take the restrictor plates off because the Kelmer transmission is just loud. I can't hear the motor anymore until I really open it up, but it's still a noisy transmission. Hopefully it's going to quiet down. Trying to think what else we got going on in the engine. I think that covers everything for now. One of the goals on this car was build it with Boss parts. Boss parts only, and to make that 600 horsepower mark, of course, with the Ford Boss racing cams and the Boss massage heads. That mod will go on probably next winter. This year we're working on suspension. We also have to work on tune. A couple other things may come up, in which it has already. We need to get some miles on the car to break the training in. I can't hammer on it until I get 1,000 miles on it. Hammer time! Full break-in is 1,000 miles. Kelmer suggests 3,000 miles. We should start hearing this thing quiet down. So hopefully that's the case. What I do know that when the transmission's warm, it shifts much better. It's still notchy like a typical MT82 when it's cold. I think that's just a characteristic of the training. It's the way it is. So that's fine. But once it's warmed up, it does shift better. The noises have calmed down a little bit. Vibrations hasn't, but now I'm hearing more of a whine, which is okay. I'm okay with that, and that's what I anticipated. Let's take a quick look at the inside. It's completely bone stock. Like I said, this car's got 13,000 miles on it. I got another 1,000 to go, actually another 940 miles to go, so I'm trying to drive it every day, or as much as I can, to get that 1,000 miles so we can start testing on it. I do have a draggy, as I said, so we're gonna do some tuning in the street. Why? Because we do some some visits to Mexico, let's just put it that way. So inside, interior, it's full stock. I'm real fussy about that. I like to keep my cars looking stock. I like them how they came off the showroom floor. Boss seats are very comfortable. This car, I'll be honest with you, I'm in love with it. It's amazing. If you have a Boss or don't have one, they are amazing cars, especially you put them down on the ground. They just feel like a pure race car. It's a great car, and it looks and speaks Mustang. So Ford did a great job on that. But guys, that's what I have for the day. Thanks for signing on, and we'll stay in touch. I do want to add, I will be on vacation starting next week for a full 2 weeks, so I may not have any content coming. So things are going to be quiet. And again, as I said to my earlier viewers, I'm not a full-blown pumping out videos, 5 videos a week, maybe 1 video a week, maybe more. As summer months come, there's more opportunities, so all the mods, everything we're doing will be on video. I guarantee that, and we're gonna have some fun with this car. This car is gonna surprise some people, I think, in the street and at the track. And again, guys, thanks for signing on. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care.